Today we're going to talk about all the with the Trump tariffs and all that stuff going on. I hope nobody really sold out of their positions over this. I think it's kind of foolish. I always think it's kind of dumb when everybody says that the stock market's getting plummeted and everything like that, and it's doing this and it's terrible and all this. I don't think you should ever sell a stock just because the whole market goes down. I think you should buy it always. But maybe not always, but especially when it's not really truly affecting the U.S. economy. It might affect the global with the tariffs, and that's even if he does it. He's just kind of talking, and let's say he does it, I don't think it's gonna destroy our economy. You never know. One thing could lead to another. Could lead to another. Of course, you never know. But I don't believe it should be a knee jerk reaction and sell all your stocks like a lot of these people are. It's doomsday all over again, and I don't know why people are comparing it to the 1980s and 1990s. This is not, that's a completely different market at a completely different time, and everybody's talking about how much the stock market ran up, and honestly, over the last 5 years, to compare to the 1980s and 1990s, the 5 years leading up to the top in the 90s it went up about 3 times. In the last 5 years, the S&P has only went up 50% in the last 5 years. So it really hasn't really ran up. And everybody's saying it's ran up and all this, so there could be some profit taken a little bit. Yeah, it's hitting an all-time high, but I don't think it's ran up that much. If you really think of the long term, maybe in the last month, but you had a terrible December, so I think it's just correcting both ways, and that's what kind of happens. But I feel like you should never, and this is really a point about that. Basically what happened was Trump said he was going to increase tariffs. It was already at 10% and 25%, I think, on tech and some other things, but now he's doing 25 on everything. I think it was over 800 or 200 billion, and that's bumping up to that. And it really just kind of really what happens in tariffs. Maybe I could get in detail, maybe with it. In details in another video. I'm not gonna get a whole big video on tariffs, but really what it tries to do, what he's trying to do, and what putting a tariff is, it keeps basically jobs over here and not jobs over there. So essentially, and it can increase the prices and everything like that. But so essentially that's what he's trying to do. And the market don't like it because maybe sales could go down and we won't have it will slow down production and all this and all that. And it won't slow down 100%, maybe a little bit. But here's the thing, really the government just gets kind of a cut, really. I mean, basically, if you really think about it, let's say you have $1,000 of goods and you're selling it, and now you have to pay a 10%. Now you have to pay a 25%. So essentially, really what happens is it just kind of gets pushed on the consumer. Really, that other 25 because you have to pay them. So essentially, that's how it kind of works. So it really doesn't, in all reality, it really doesn't really affect it a whole lot. I mean, people still want certain things and people will still buy them. And it's affected a little bit, but not enough to sell your stocks and say we're going into a recession over it. I mean, I've read some places like that today, and it's just, I mean, when you see things like that, and I hope that nobody sold their positions off of this news just because it went down, and it was down over what 500, 600, almost 600 some odd points in pre-market, and I was seeing all these posts Sunday night and everybody going on about it. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, you know what I mean? Sometimes when everybody and it's kind of funny how fast the economy, the mindset switches. It switches so fast. Everybody's saying it's going to go up, it's going to keep going up. And then this came out and everything is just boom, the other direction, 100 miles per hour. Seems like, the stock market always moves 100 miles per hour either way. It's going up 100 miles per hour. Then as soon as some bad news, boom, boom, it just goes 100 miles per hour the other way. It's just how it is. You know what I mean? at the market and don't get caught up all of it. The daily news, I don't really follow it at all. I mean, it's good to just say business focused, but that's really my point. I tried to talk a little bit about every single kind of major, especially a downturn. Well, maybe not a down. I don't like call it maybe a downturn, but maybe it scared some people off. It went down about, I think, 3%. My whole portfolio today, it was sitting around 5%. In pre-market now, it's only down like maybe not, it's just an average day really. So hopefully it didn't scare anybody off, and if you really focus on it, and sometimes it's better just to kind of wait and see and really kind of think, how will this affect the economy? How will it affect the economy? That will affect my businesses that I buy. So if you buy um, indexes and stuff like that, how then you have to think, how would it affect all the companies in that index? How would it affect the whole economy? Then you kind of think the whole economy. If you're buying a business, I mean, it's kind of if it doesn't do anything in China and doesn't really mess with a lot of that stuff, don't freak out and sell that stock just because of some bad news from China and some guy saying that it's gonna go bad and you better start shorting the S&P. And I saw all these people, I'm put options, and it's kind of like them people, if they did it, unless the market sells off any more today, but it kind of went up, and it was kind of, they were doing the opposite, and that's why you just can't you can't chase the market. You kind of have to, if you're going to do call or put options and stuff like that, you kind of have to know that stuff in advance. If the stock market already kind of went down 3 or 4% in a day, I mean, you kind of already missed the boat. And so essentially I don't, because then you're just kind of chasing it, especially when it goes down. You kind of going up, you can go long on it, and well, if you've been long on the S&P for the last 50 years, you've been right majority of the time. So anyway, that's my opinions about it. I hope it helped. Hope it had some clarity on it. But don't sell it. Just bottom line, don't sell your stock, or just because of one bad day, one little blip or whatever, especially because it did happen all of a sudden. It was going up and up and up, and then boom, it just hit, and that was one bad news. And then you wake up, check your phone in the morning, and you hear all these updates and all this, and the Dow crashed or whatever they call it, plummeted. They love using these big words to get people to read their articles, and that's just how it works. They plummeted 600 points, but really that's not really a big move and nothing to be really worried about. If you say stay focused on your businesses, and you could ride it out, but always have an open mind, but always a closed minded on some things. Be right and kind of in the middle. Anyway, that's all today, and thank you for watching.